Objection!
I love the Ace Attorney series. I think it's a very creative, funny, and interesting series to play. They meld the fun of reading a book with an adventure game. I was really excited when I heard that it was going to be brought to the WiiWare, but I was kind of hoping to be a brand new game in the series. But I could deal with the re-release of the original game as well. So you might be wondering what changes there are from this version and the DS version. Not much, other than the motion controls. If you've ever played the DS version, you'll already know that you can use the microphone to do objections if you want. It's the same thing with this game, but instead of a microphone, you waggle your Wiimote. You point outward to present evidence, and waggle your Wiimote to press a witness. The graphics are exactly the same as the DS version. While it is disappointing, it's not unexpected. They look okay, but you can tell the game was made for smaller screens, as the pixels seem to be a bit blocky at times. One of the biggest letdowns is the lack of voices in the game. I always thought it would make the game so much more fun on the DS version if it was fully voice cast. I understand why it wasn't on the DS version, but why not have it fully voice cast this time around? I know that option alone would get a bunch of people who own the original a reason to rebuy the game. While the lack of voice cast is extremely disappointing, at least the music is still as great as it was on the DS version. There are quite a few background songs that you'll be humming at work because they are quite catchy. As an interesting addition, the publishers decided to put your objection sound effects through the Wiimote speakers, but everyone else's is done through the TV speakers. And I thought that was kind of cool. You play the game as Phoenix Wright, a new lawyer who is unfamiliar with the court system. The first case will be more of a tutorial as you learn how to question witnesses, find inconsistencies in their accounts, and present evidence to prove it. After the first case is done, you'll move on to the next one, which will introduce you to the other part of the gameplay, which is finding evidence and talking to witnesses. This part is done like a point-and-click adventure game. Unfortunately, it's one of those adventure games that if you don't click on the absolute right places and the right people, you won't progress in the game. There will be times later on in the 4 cases you can play in this title where you'll be stuck because you missed one little clickable action. However, since this is a mystery game as well, you'll need to know that information, so I guess it's forgivable. One of the more baffling things in this game is that they don't even use the pointing functions of the Wiimote. You have to use the D-pad to move around the cursor, and that seems kind of strange. Why wouldn't you just use the Wiimote's pointing function to do that? This title would have worked great if you could have free-clicked on the areas that you wanted to check out. Now, you might have heard me say there's only 4 cases in this title, and if you're a fan of the series, you'll know there's actually 5 cases in the original DS title. So you might be wondering, what happened to that 5th case? Capcom, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to release it separately as a downloadable extra for 100 Wii points in a few months. It's at this point I'd like to personally say to Capcom, You are unbelievable. Not only do you not really update this old title, but you have the balls to break up the original game for no reason other than trying to get more money, I have to assume? I do understand, Capcom, that the 5th case was a DS exclusive when you ported the original game from the Game Boy Advance, and it might take a little bit more effort to convert it, but charging 100 Wii points for the case seems incredibly greedy of you. One last thing on the topic of the 5th case. When it was ported from the Game Boy Advance originally, Capcom made this case special for it. A special case made for a re-release of a game that was made to fully use the advantages of the DS. Hey Capcom, where's our Wii exclusive made case? You have a history of doing this, so why didn't we get our own case? I'll tell you why. Because Capcom got lazy and complacent. Because this game has their fan base already. Why sell at steak when they know they'll just buy the hamburger? As much as I'm coming down on Capcom for their laziness, the motion controls work fine. They didn't really add anything new to the gameplay though. Whether it be the microphone or waggling the Wiimote, that part of the game will always be a gimmick that will work if you care to use it. One of the biggest unexpected positives I had with this version is the fact that other people can join you on the ride. What I mean is the little reviewer was really enjoying watching me play the game, and was even giving me advice on questioning the witnesses. You really can't have that kind of fun with the DS version since it's more of a personal thing. So the question has to be, is it worth the Wii points if you already own the original? My gut says no, but my heart will always say yes. I'm one of those fans who will go out and buy this game over and over again, because I love it so much. Truthfully, if you own the original, don't bother buying it again, as there really isn't any real incentive to do it. But if you've never played an Ace Attorney game before, you're in for a treat, as this title is incredibly fun to play, and you'll enjoy it for the 10 plus hours you'll be glued to the screen. And if you are one of those lucky people, you should definitely buy it now.